Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the City of Neenah Common Council meeting for September 6, 2023. The clerk will call the roll, and please indicate your presence on your roll call device as well.
Alderperson Boyette.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Hillstrom.
Here.
Lindrum.
Here.
Steiner.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Skirms.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
And Borchert.
Here.
Thank you. Alderman Steiner will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States, to the republic, which one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
First item on the agenda is introduction confirmation of mayor's appointments. There are none this evening. The next item on the agenda is approval of the council proceedings of August 16th, 2023. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of approval of those council proceedings? Seeing no objection, those council minutes and proceedings are approved. The next item on the agenda is the public forum. This is the opportunity for the public to speak on any topic that they would like to speak on this evening. And we ask that if you would like to speak on a topic this evening, you come forward, give your name and residential address, and you're allowed to speak for 5 minutes on any topic. Is there anyone here who would like to speak during the public forum? Just come on up to the microphone, thanks.
Good evening. My name is Richard Wangard. I live at 134 Alexander Drive right here in Neenah. What I'd like to do is just read you what I wrote, and then I will give this copy that I have to the mayor. And I will present any one of you with a hard copy if you so desire. I have it saved on my computer. I just have to find the front page. Okay, let's see here. I was rereading it, so it's kind of mixed up right now. I rise tonight to be respectfully heard by my Neenah friends, you, the City Council, and Honorable Mayor. I ask for your respect and not to be cut off until I finish reading this, for I believe I have earned the right to be heard, being a three-tour Vietnam vet who fought for you all at 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, doing things and saving lives that nobody should have ever had to do. Do not thank me for my service, for the heroes I lost on my flights deserve all your thanks. I rise to implore you, with the very hard jobs of fixing Neenah's budget every year. After 2024 comes 2025. And as I understand, once again, the sidewalk issue has raised again for the 2025 budget. This is not far away. Alexander Drive is a unique neighborhood in Neenah, just a block long from South Commercial to Southview Park. I ask each and every one of you to take a drive down it so you can see it and the houses on it. That way, you can see for yourself exactly how the impact of sidewalks would ruin this entire neighborhood and destroy yards. How sidewalks would put people walking them within 12 feet of picture windows. As always, people say there are safety concerns. Trust me, folks, when I tell you the only people that walk Alexander Drive are the dog owners of Alexander Drive to get to Southview Park. How would I know this? I have lived at 134 Alexander Drive for the last 20 years. This issue has come up twice before, and each time I address this distinguished group whose job I cannot dream how hard it is. Let us remember that government was created long, long ago by our founding fathers to serve the people. Our most cherished documents say, "For the people." It is what I fought for so many years ago. I am old now, but I tell you honestly, Vietnam feels like yesterday, and I carry a very heavy load. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat, because I was lucky enough to save car crash victims. Oh, I've got to find the next page. Hold on. Right here in Neenah, and the police all knew it. And even when I misbehaved with speeding on my Harley, they let me go because they knew me and what I did for the community and the lives I saved. I learned that in Nam. Forgive me for I ramble. I talk much and am loud. I had to be. So government was created for the people to carry out the people's will. There are no safety concerns. The money spent for this project, I cannot imagine, as it would require moving utility poles and hundreds upon hundreds yards of concrete. People on sidewalks would be walking within 12 feet of residents' picture windows because I measured up and down all properties on Alexander Drive. Would you kind and hard-working folks like this at your homes? The destruction of yards and landscaping would cost the homeowners thousands of dollars and rob the neighborhood of its beauty. On my own property, I would lose 3 mature maple trees, a beautiful garden my master gardener wife created, and all we created over 20 years of making our yard a showcase for Neenah. And again, please take the time to drive down Alexander Drive to see for yourself what you all are planning. The only thing that will be accomplished is the devaluing of property. So, my dear friends and powerful leaders, please, in review, let us look at what the conclusions are. Government was created to carry out the will of the people. There are no safety concerns since only Alexander Drive people walk Alexander Drive with their dogs. The cost of such a project would be a total 100% waste of taxpayer money. It would devalue the properties of Alexander Drive, ruin the appearance of an entire neighborhood, put people walking the sidewalks within 12 feet of picture windows of property owners because I measured. But for me, who was hung out to dry in Vietnam by his own government and then hated by all except his brothers, it forced me to no longer believe in government or its causes. I forgave a long time ago. But I am here to tell you, I live with Vietnam every day and will not stand by to see injustice carried out when every single property owner on Alexander Drive does not want this to happen. No sidewalks. I ask for fairness. I ask for government to do the right thing. You all are that government. All I ever wanted after Vietnam was a peaceful life that contributed to wherever I lived. You have served Neenah. I have served Neenah, but in different ways than you all. Please reconsider the appropriations for this project in the 2025 budget and change it, for the money could go to the Arrowhead project or the many worthwhile projects of Neenah. This is a great place to live. Let's make it better, not worse. Thank you all so much for hearing me out and letting an old man speak. Sincerely, Rich Wangard. And I will give this copy to the mayor if that's okay, if she would like it.
Yes.
Well, let me try to organize it once for you, okay? I'll get it in order. Reach. I want to hold you folks up. Mayor, I'm going to let you try to organize it. Thank you very much. Thanks, folks. Thanks a lot.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Hello, Adam Paulman, 130 Alexander Drive. I, like Rich, do not see the value in adding sidewalks to Alexander Drive as proposed in the 2025 capital improvement plan. Personally, where I live, the plow comes through and I get a bunch of snow that I wouldn't know where to put if I have to also clear sidewalks in addition to my driveway, as well as the money could be spent better elsewhere in Neenah. We run into issues on Bruce Street during baseball season. Perhaps money could be spent there to improve that and the throughput of traffic. As Rich said, there's other projects, the Arrowhead project, other things that could use that money instead of putting sidewalks in. Walking up and down, again, no one on our street would like them. It'll ruin yards, it'll ruin landscaping, and take away from the beauty that we have on Alexander Drive. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? I'm sorry, can you speak into the microphone a little bit?
Okay, there you go. I don't
you.
get accused of being quiet very often. William Fowler, 118 Alexander Drive. I'd like to say thank you for allowing us to give input before this matter is officially considered. I do have a sign-up sheet for people that are opposed to the sidewalks. Can I drop this off tonight, or can
Yes.
I give it to somebody? Okay. I just wanted to stop by, state that we have lived on Alexander Drive since 2001. We raised our children there. We enjoy the neighborhood very much, and we've had a very good time there. I do not think that sidewalks along Alexander Drive would be a good idea. There's several reasons, and they've already been stated. We personally have from where the sidewalk would go in to the front of our house 25 feet. If you include additional right-of-way that I would assume would be included with the sidewalk, then we've got even less. Now, that causes a problem, not only for having people pretty close to our house, also parking vehicles in the driveway. It would be tough. We'd be in a position where if we wanted to park more than one vehicle in the driveway, we'd have to maybe block the sidewalk, and that would not be beneficial. I don't think the neighborhood was designed to have sidewalks. We have curb and gutter, we have a nice street, but I don't think it was designed. That's why the houses were built as close as they were to the front, to the street. And it's important to consider that that's the way the neighborhood was designed. I also do not believe, and I don't have an empirical study, but I do not believe that there is much foot traffic along Alexander Drive. We walk our dogs to the park, and we walk around the park every morning and come back. But truly, there just is not that much foot traffic. I also believe that obviously it would change the character of our neighborhood. So in closing, I'd just like to say thank you for the consideration of our point of view, and I hope that you'll consider it when you get closer to an actual vote on the issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Anyone else who would like to speak in the public forum portion of the meeting?
Hi, my name is Renee Hernandez. I live at 110 Alexander Drive, and I was first alerted to the potential for sidewalks in this area a few months ago, and I did send a letter to Mr. Borkert as well. I did not bring a copy with me tonight because I was completely unprepared to do so. However, I've only lived in this area for about 2 years, and I can tell you it is a very quiet residential area. One of the things that I liked about it is that we didn't have sidewalks to shovel. I don't know where I'm going to go with the snow if I have a sidewalk, because I had a lot of snow just from the driveway that went out onto the street itself. I'm sure my lawn would love to have more salt, though. It's always a good possibility. But that being as it may, my neighbors are correct. It really is limited traffic. There is low pedestrian activity. It's a very peaceful atmosphere. I don't know why anybody would want to disrupt what is already working. I can tell you what's not working right now is the traffic flow at the Neenah Middle School. You might want to consider taking some of the funds from that and going to the Neenah Middle School because, holy cow. If people have concerns about, kids running around, our neighbors are letting their kids run up and down the street, and trust me, there is not a sidewalk in the world that they would run on. They will run up and down the middle of the street, as will my children, because they want to race each other. So you can put a sidewalk in. It's not going to be utilized because the kids just don't. They ride their bikes, they ride their little go-kart things. Those are not things that are meant for a sidewalk. If people are concerned with traffic on that street, put in some speed bumps like you have on Marathon. You have to slow down a lot to go over those speed bumps. I have watched people. They go from 30 down to 5 very, very quickly. But again, there's aesthetic reasons, it's a quiet residential area, there's the attractiveness of it, and I kind of agree with my neighbors. I don't like the idea of somebody being so close to my house when they're walking by. And even though we have limited pedestrian traffic at the moment, I feel that if you start putting sidewalks in, well, people are going to be more curious. Oh, hey, we've never been down this street. Let's go down this street next. Let's go down this street. I've done that. When I move into someplace, let's just be nosy, and it's not, I don't want people to be nosy. I like my privacy. It's just, it would just make sense to, if it's working, just leave it work. If you would like a copy of the letter, I can get you a copy or Mr. Barker can share it with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, I'm Linda Garvey. I live at 105 Alexander Drive. Some of you have heard from me already. I'm pretty riled up about this because this is not my first rodeo about this darn sidewalk on my street. We bought the house in 2012 and it didn't have a sidewalk. And that's one of the reasons why we liked the house and bought the house. So putting a sidewalk in will probably move us out. I've said that before and I mean it because we just don't want to maintain that. We bought the house as a retirement home to lay roots here. My husband's older than me. He's retired already. We don't need to keep maintaining a sidewalk. So that's what we're doing. One of the other things you guys mentioned was access from Commercial to Southview Park. But if you look at our street, there isn't even access into the park from Alexander Drive. It's curb and gutter. There's not even a sidewalk there, or a slope or a ramp or anything into the park. You have to go up the curb and about 12 feet of grass to get to a path. So to me, that argument doesn't work. I guess this is the third time this has come up. Do we have to keep doing this? Silly question. So please consider no sidewalks. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else who would like to speak during the public forum portion of our meeting this evening? Anyone? Seeing no one, I will close the public forum portion of the meeting for this evening and move on to the mayor-council consideration of the public forum issues. I would just like to say that I appreciate everyone's courtesy and good attitude as you came up to present your opinion. I always really appreciate that, so thank you for that. Is there anyone else who would like to speak from the council? Seeing no one, I will close that portion of the meeting as well and move on to item number 6, which is the consent agenda. There are 3 items on the consent agenda. Temporary extension of license premise application for Lion's Tail Brewing Company for their Oktoberfest event to be held September 22nd. Temporary extension of license premise for application to Cedar Bar and Grill for their end of summer concert to be held on September 23rd. And approval of a temporary Class B malt beverage license to Bergstrom Mahler Museum of Glass for their Art After Dark Renaissance Fair to be held on September 21st. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of the consent agenda items? Seeing none, those are approved. Moving on to item number 7, reports of standing committees, the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of August 29th. Alderman Lundrum.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from, the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of August 29th, 2023. Minutes can be found on the city website. We have one item tonight. Committee recommends council approve the police department install 6 additional flock cameras at a cost not to exceed $21,000 and to allow the police department to enter into a 5-year contract starting in 2024 with flock to secure pricing at $2,500 per camera for all 12 cameras, with the funding source being Capital Equipment Reserve Fund. And I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lundrum, seconded by Alderman Weber. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item is the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of August 28th. Alderman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of August 28th. Item number 1, the committee recommends council approve ordinance 2023-11, annexation 229, 19.94 acres of land located to the west of Liberty Avenue in the town of Finland. Action on this item will take place under the Plan Commission report. Item number 2, the committee recommends council direct staff to take the necessary steps to acquire the property at 1345 South Commercial Street for a price of $82,000, utilizing community development block grant funds, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson, seconded by Alderman Hillstrom. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Boyette.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just curious if we could give an idea of what this property acquisition is going to, or purchase is going to be used for.
There's no immediate plans for the property. For those that are familiar with it, it's been in a state of disrepair for a number of years and getting worse by the minute. Our intent would be to acquire the property, clear the site, and utilize the parcel as part of a consolidation of additional or assemblage of additional properties. As you know, the car wash that's immediately to the north is now closed. We've had conversations with those property owners. We've had conversations with the owners of the property immediately behind this. And in its current size, it has a certain level of obsolescence that makes it difficult to redevelop it on its own. But consolidating it with additional properties, it certainly has potential. By acquiring and clearing this site, we remove at least one obstacle towards consolidation and redevelopment of this site.
Is there any further discussion on this item? Alderman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. Since I've been on the council, we've done a good job of removing obsolete buildings on South Commercial Street. So I think this is just another step in the right direction of taking care of 3 buildings that are not in a good state right now, and I highly recommend that we approve.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
Item number 3, the committee recommends council approve Resolution 2023-22, commitment of option number 2 with Cities and Villages Mutual Insurance Company, which is CIVMIC, for years 2025 and 2026, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson, seconded by Alderman Borchert. Is there any discussion on this item? Any questions, any discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is the Neenah Menasha Fire Rescue Joint Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of August 22nd. Council President Borchert.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from that meeting on August 22nd. The committee recommends council approve the 2023 radio communications CIP budget of $425,000 to be reallocated to purchase replacement radios for a cost not to exceed $360,000, with the replacement of mobile data computers for vehicles for the cost not to exceed $48,000, and the purchase of new used police vehicle for a cost not to exceed $12,000. As the grand total of all of these purchases shall not exceed $420,000. This is a budget amendment, and so it must be passed by 2/3 vote.
3/4.
3/4? It's actually
It's actually
2/3.
2/3. That was a typo.
Shar told me that before. I just top of my head, so for credit.
Would you like to make that motion?
So moved.
There's a motion by Council President Borchert. Technical difficulty, hang on. Apologize for that. The clerk's computer froze up. So there is a motion by Council President Borchert. Is there a second? We're doing a voice vote. Sorry, I should have indicated that. There's a second by Alderman Stearns. Is there any discussion on this item? Just to raise your hand and I'll call on you if there's discussion on this item. Alderman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. So wasn't able to attend the Neenah Master Fire Joint Finance Committee meeting. So we have a budget amount of $425,000 for this, and the grand total of the purchase is $420,000. So where's the budget? Why do we need a 2/3 vote? What are we exceeding?
Well, I think the original budget was $425,000 for the radios, right? And now they want to spend it on something different.
I
So
got
they're
you.
amending the budget.
Okay. And I'm assuming the purchase of the new used police vehicle it's a used police vehicle that'll be new to the fire department? Is that right? Okay, good. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? We might be back in it here. Any other questions on this item? Any other discussion?
That's
Will we be able to do a electronic vote, or do we need voice? Okay, we will be able to do an electronic vote. Okay. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is the regular Plan Commission meeting of August 29th. Alderman Steiner.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out on the regular Plan Commission meeting from August 29th. Minutes can be found on the city website. Commission recommends council approve ordinance 2023-11, annexation number 229, and the property receive an R1 single-family residence district zoning classification, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Council President Borchert. Is there any discussion on this item? Any questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote to approve ordinance 2023-11. That motion passes 9-0.
Commission recommends council approve the preliminary plat for the second addition to the homes at Freedom Meadows subdivision, subject to the conditions on the preliminary plat review letter, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Boyette. Is there any discussion on this item? Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please cast your vote on your voting device for approval of preliminary plat for the second addition to the homes at Freedom Meadows. That motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is the Board of Public Works meeting of August 31st. Vice Chairman Hillstrom.
Thank you, Mayor Lang. The minutes from this meeting can be found on the city website. This evening, we have 7 informational items and 1 council action item. The first item, item A, the board approved pay request number 4, contract 1-23, sanitary and storm sewer, water main and street construction on Burr Avenue, Chestnut Street, Peacoff Street, and Loudon Boulevard, to Donnie Parker Excavating in the amount of $279,908.17. Number B, the board approved pay request number 3, contract 2-23, storm sewer, water main, and street construction on Brantwood Drive, Brantwood Court, Charles Court, Hughes Court, Memorial Court, and Patrick Court David Tenner Corporation in the amount of $159,426.73. Item C, the board approved pay request number 1, contract 3-23, concrete pavement and sidewalk repair to L. Dix Concrete in the amount of $254,813.75. Item D, the board approved pay request number 4, contract 5-23, street, curb, and gutter sidewalk and apron construction in Arthur Platte, Cardinal Platte, Integrity Acres, and Liberty Heights subdivision to MCC Incorporated in the amount of $361,026.56. Item E, the board approved pay request number 4, contract 6-23, sanitary and storm sewer, water main, and street construction on Columbian Avenue to Don Hippus and Sons in the amount of $162,607.35. Item F, the board approved pay request number 1, contract 9-23, epoxy pavement markings to Century Fence Incorporated in the amount of $60,900.08. Item G, the board approved pay request number 1, contract 11-23, street construction on Brookwood Drive, Fairwood Drive, and Hunt Avenue, Northeast Asphalt Incorporated in the amount of $176,938.22. Last, we have the council action item. The board recommends council award Neenah Creek Bridge Project to Pfeiffer Brothers Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $518,307.69. I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Hillstrom. And seconded by Alderman Lendrum.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion? Alderman Skirms.
I understand this came in under budget. What was budget on this?
The budget in TID 12 was $600,000.
Thank you for that work.
Is there any other discussion on this item? Seeing none?
Wait, I'm sorry. I had to
Oh, sorry, Alderman Stevenson.
Yeah, that's why how many bids did we get?
We had 5 bids.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Any other questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote to award Neenah Creek Bridge Project to Pfeiffer Brothers Construction Company in the amount of $518,307.69. That motion passes 9-0.
That concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you for your very long report. I think I owe you a bottle of water or something. The next item on the agenda is the report from the library board. Alderman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. There are many exciting programs that are being offered at the library this September. So if you're interested in finding out about the library programs, please visit the Neenah Library website. One thing I'd like to bring up is that the construction of the bump out in front of the library has started, so it may look like it's a little bit trickier to get to the library, but you can access the library by going down Commercial Street I'm just trying to, South Commercial Street, and then going to the East Wisconsin, so that way. So it is really very accessible. It is open all hours. And Jerry, can you describe the project and how long it will take?
Sure. The project is, as you mentioned, to construct a bump out right near the east driveway for the library site. Work is expected to be another couple of weeks out there. They are laying curb to start with and sidewalk behind. And then later on, they'll patch along the street with asphalt. So while work is going on, right in that bump out area, the road is closed, but when the contractor is not working. Our intention is to allow one-way traffic to Oak Street through that area by just moving the barricades aside. So that's something we've been in touch with the contractor about staying on top of.
Thank you. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item is Community Development Authority, Director Hayes. Is there anything?
Just very quickly, the CDA, as you has acquired Lawrence Salvage Yard and has cleaned that up. We are looking to do some more earthwork there this fall to excavate some of the environmentally contaminated material and utilize the $100,000 escrow that we retained when we purchased the property. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you for your report. Sustainable Neenah Committee, Alderman Lendrum.
Thank you, but that meeting was canceled, so no report.
Thank you. The Bergstrom Mahler Museum, Council President Borchert.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of Bergstrom Mahler Museum class, board, and staff, here's thank you. They appreciate the support for the 2023 Glass Arts Festival. Approximately 4,800 visitors, where nearly half of them are reporting that was the first time to the museum. So it was a huge increase over attendance the prior year of 3,500. On tap for September 9th, 2023, 6 sessions are available at $15 each. Create your totally awesome sun catcher. Use pre-cut shapes made out of sheet accessory glass. Art activity day projects can be fired that day and then picked up the following Saturday. And then put on your calendars Art After Dark Renaissance Fair, September 21st, 2003. We'll be going from 5:30 to 8:30. The mission is free. There'll be a variety of entertainments, including glass blowing, juggling, and blacksmithing, along with magic. There'll be artisan wares, ales, and sustenance available for exchange for your coinage. The galleries and shops will be open well past sundown, and Renaissance costumes are encouraged. So I have a place we could probably borrow costumes from, right? I think we've been using quite a few of those. So if you're interested, let me know, and I can find you a costume. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. Parks and Rec Commission, Alderman Weber.
Thank you, Mayor. The Park and Rec Commission met on August 24th. The minutes are on the city website. A few key items. The mission action report was distributed as part of the agenda. A lot of good information in there. I urge everybody to take a look at that. A few key items. The 23-24 Fall and Winter Activity Guide has been released online effective August 17th and also has been mailed out to Neenah City residents. There was discussion around the Kimberly Point Doty Park's conceptual shoreline design and a target for a presentation in the September, this month's commission meeting. And then also discussion around the Carpenter Preserve replanning and a target for the October commission to have a presentation then. And also the Neenah Community Band Summer Concert Series ended on August 15th. Averaged around 200 people on each of the Tuesday evening concerts. So really good attendance and looking forward to next year. Lastly, the Park and Rec proposed 2024 operation maintenance and CIP budget was proposed to the commission, and some discussion on that. And so the commission voted and carried a motion to have that presented come to budget time. So that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is presentation of petitions. Are there any petitions?
Just the petition we received tonight for no sidewalks on Alexander Drive.
Thank you. Are there any council directives? Seeing none, is there any unfinished business? Seeing none, is there any new business? Or any announcements? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. It's a motion by Council President Borchert and seconded by Alderman Steiner to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.